This is the businessman vowing to rid the streets of professional beggars who he claims earn up to £150 per day from kind-hearted shoppers. Ashley Sims says his campaign to name and shame fake homeless has proved an outstanding success during a trial in Torquay. Since he began distributing warning posters targeting professional beggars on lamp posts and social media sites, he says around a dozen have left the English Riviera to try their luck elsewhere. He insists his threat to post their photographs and in some cases full names have succeeded where police and Torbay Council have failed. A further 7 beggars whose photos have been passed to Mail Online by Mr. Sims are said to be still operating around the shopping center. He has warned that their portraits will appear on social media sites tomorrow morning, March 1st, unless the council checks their identity with the local job center and hands out letters threatening their benefits. Mr. Sims says his campaign will now be rolled out nationally using a network of 270 photographers. He claims it will transform shopping centers bedeviled by the fake homeless. He told Mail Online, "I live in Torquay and I'm sick to death of people on benefits taking cash-in-hand jobs and begging in their spare time. They are very clever and professional." One guy told me he always wore combat kit because passers-by thought he was ex-services. He claimed it was better than having a dog. People have their own patches to work and they will fight a turf war with anyone who interferes. They are not homeless, they're funding drug and alcohol addiction. I was working with a local charity, Humanity Torbay, and discovered that the genuinely homeless were getting assaulted on the street by professional beggars. That's how all this started. Myself and a colleague have taken photos of them all. Most have now gone but 7 are still out there. So far we haven't needed to publish a single photo. I've told Torbay Council that if they don't take action against those 7 by Thursday, their photos will go online. Mr. Sims, 46, who describes himself as an inventor and product developer, said he planned to distribute homeless charity collection boxes to shops which regularly saw beggars operating nearby. That way, shoppers can have a clear conscience, giving money to the charities rather than the beggars. Because the truth is, if no one gave money, professional beggars would go away. Some have told me they can make between £80 and £150 a day. They are like franchisees and they think nothing of kicking a genuinely homeless person out of a doorway. Through my business contacts, I have put together a network of 270 photographers who can be on the streets of any major town or city within 2 hours of us receiving reports of suspected professional beggars. I fully intend to make this a national campaign. Mr. Sims said he was unsurprised that both the police and Torbay Council were dismissive of his approach. The police are bound to take that view, he said. They haven't got the money or resources to tackle this and they don't appear to have a strategy that works. I just refer them to the Pub Watch campaign. I used to run pubs and I remember when troublemakers would go from pub to pub causing trouble. But then the pubs put up their photos and guess what? The trouble soon stopped. This situation with professional beggars is no different. But I want to be very clear. I would do anything I could to help genuinely homeless people. I have been homeless myself, not for long, but I know what it's like to sleep in a car. Ellie Waugh, 53, founder and chairman of Humanity Torbay, says the genuinely homeless have welcomed Mr. Sims' initiative. She says aggressive professional beggars see the homeless as competition and bad for business. We know for certain that 10 of the 17 people Ashley photographed are not homeless, she said. How do we know that? Because we've arranged for them to be housed in recent months. Ashley is not connected to our charity, but we are working with him on this and support 90% of what he's doing. He showed us his photographs and after consulting with other charities we believe only 2 of the 17 are actually living on the streets. Ashley has never put up their photographs, but his campaign has resulted in a lot of the professional beggars dispersing from Fleet Walk and other town center sites. He is a millionaire businessman who cares about the genuinely homeless, about trade in the town and the effect professional beggars have on shoppers and shop owners. Ms. Waugh, a mother of 9, describes herself as a housewife who set up Humanity Torbay 10 months ago to try and relieve poverty around the English Riviera. She insists that the charity has no religious or political affiliations. She told Mail Online that all those who work for it are volunteers. Only 20% of their 500 clients are homeless, the rest are dealing with drug and alcohol problems or working as prostitutes. Ms. Waugh dismissed fears that a campaign to out the fake homeless could encourage vigilantes, adding, "Seriously, this is Torquay. The most exciting thing that happens is an air show once a year. There's no way vigilantes would get involved." That was certainly not Ashley's intention. As a businessman, he is just worried for the future of our retailers. Humanity Today's general manager Fiorindo Ardezzi, 36, said he would never condone the publication of photographs. "We are not about shaming people. We're here to help them," he said. The genuinely homeless are very supportive of Ashley Sims' campaign because it has got professional beggars off the streets. These beggars see the homeless as competition. That has been much reduced and our homeless guys feel a lot safer. Police have accused Mr. Sims' campaign of being simplistic and based on unreliable information. Torbay Police Inspector C. Jenkinson said, "The dangerous practice of outing people as professional criminals based on often unverifiable information fails to acknowledge the very complex vulnerabilities and chaotic lives of those concerned." The campaign was also criticized by Friends of Factory Row, a charity that runs the town's only homeless hostel. Chairman Nick Pannell said, "This persecuting of vulnerable adults on our streets is a disgrace and those involved in encouraging it should be ashamed of themselves." The fake homeless campaign claimed there were 17 beggars in Torquay but only 2 who were genuinely homeless. How do they know that, and what is genuine homelessness? Contrary to wildly exaggerated reports, not much money is made from begging. After years of volunteering at the Leonard Stocks Center, I've got to know some of the faces. Begging is generally a desperate bid to scrape together a few coins to buy drugs or alcohol. They are not professional beggars changing out of smart designer clothes into rags, but genuinely desperate, sad, lonely, alienated human beings with profound problems. Mr. Pannell added, "Rough sleepers, beggars and drug addicts in Torquay have been subject to tirades of abuse in recent weeks. It dehumanizes them to out them at risk of further marginalization and even assault." Local charity Path People Assisting Torbay's homeless said they were strongly opposed to the naming and shaming scheme. They added, "The complexity of reasons why someone is compelled to beg is not straightforward. Leave it to the professionals who are trained to help complex needs and crime. Being bullied, persecuted, targeted are not acceptable in any society, nor do they do anything but incite hatred and hysteria." A spokesman for Torbay Council said he was aware of the threat by Mr. Sims to post photos of people accused of being fake homeless on social media. In a strongly worded condemnation of the businessman, the authority also urged him to abandon his campaign. Its statement said, "We have very real concern as to the consequences of the fake homeless campaign which is currently being undertaken. Torbay Council knows that an individual's circumstances can frequently change, sometimes on a daily basis, meaning that being able to make a judgment on whether someone is street homeless or not is in many cases a fact that will remain accurate for only a limited period of time. We are already aware of an individual wrongly identified as fake homeless who has then been the subject of abuse via social media. The actions being proposed by this campaign encourages vigilantism and enables anyone so minded to target people, and is therefore unacceptable. Such behaviors cannot be supported or condoned on any level by Torbay Council. We have asked that the campaign be halted and have invited those involved to meet to discuss how to work together in the future. Torbay Council, along with our partners, takes our responsibility towards supporting vulnerable members of the community very seriously. We work in partnership with a range of organizations as part of the Torbay and Street Homelessness TESH campaign. With our partners we carry out a range of activities including locating and providing a warm and safe place for rough sleepers to sleep, providing additional accommodation over the winter period, continued support and housing advice to try and prevent the cycle of homelessness, and addressing a range of complex issues which often accompany homelessness.
Where the freaks at?